Do you know 상어 Park?
No.
안녕하세요 여러분. 어제 저녁에 늦게 밀란에서 이제 런던 도착해가지고 페링던이라고 여기 완전 그 런던의 중심이거든요. 구독자분의 회사 호텔을 예약을 해주셨어요. 여태까지 유럽 여행하는 호텔 중에서 제가 잔 곳 중에서 제일 좋은 것 같아요. 여기가 이제 거실입니다. 진짜 혼자 묵기 아쉬운 숙소. 이쪽이 화장실이고요. 이쪽에 뭐 요리해 먹을 수 있는 공간, 인덕션이랑 전자레인지, 뭐 토스트기, 캡슐 커피 다 있습니다. 이게 끝이 아니에요. 거실 가면은 여기 방이 하나 있고, 그리고 여기가 이제 마스터방. 코펜하겐이랑 오슬로, 밀란의 호텔을 다 합쳐도 여기보다 작은 것 같아. 자기소개 한번 부탁드립니다.
네, 안녕하세요. 네, 저는 마이클이라고 하고요. 저는 런던에 이제 온 지 3년 차 돼가는 것 같고요.
확실히 어제랑 다르다.
대부분 출근하는 사람일 겁니다.
와.
네.
지하철 이슈 때문에 꽤 오래 왔습니다.
네. 딱 이런 분위기고요.
아, 로토스 커피.
네.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Hi, good.
Hi.
Do you have any recommendation for
What do you
coffee?
usually drink?
I drink a lot of filter.
What kind of flavors do you usually like? Fruity? Something?
Yeah, fruity Ethiopian. Oh,
The Rumba is an Ethiopian, but it's not your typical one. A semi-anaerobic natural coffee. It's a bit more funky. If you want something a bit more brighter, then I think the Honeymoon is a really, really delicious Colombian coffee. We have the competition espresso. So at the moment we're running Candy Crush, which is a extremely, extremely sweet coffee. Carbonic maceration coffee.
커프 커피라고 영국 잉글랜드에서 이제 로스팅 하는 거고, 요 덱 커피라고 제가 알기로는 네덜란드. 저도 되게 개인적으로 정말 좋아하는.
여긴 보통 어떤 커피를 많이 마셔요, 영국 사람들은?
런던 밖은 모르겠는데 런던은 거의 80~90%가 플랫 화이트 먹는다고 보시면 돼요. 밀크 베이스를 많이 먹고요. 네, 필터도 요새 많이 먹긴 하는데 10명이 플랫 화이트 하나 시키면 한 분이 뭐 롱 블랙이나 뭐 아이스 잘 안 먹더라고요.
이게 에스프레소, 밀크.
Enjoy the aroma as well. It's two cups for you guys as well.
Thank you.
Enjoy.
특이하지 않아요?
에너로빅. 와, 이 밀크 되게 맛있어요.
오, 향이 되게 오래 남는데요.
콜롬비아의 블랙컨이네요. 오, 와, 맛있다.
맛있죠?
이거. 레모니한데 약간 프루티한 느낌도 좀 있고 너무 맛있어요. 이거 제가 유럽에 와서 막 먹은 커피 중에 탑3 안에 드는 것 같아요. 약간 워시드 느낌도 나면서
네.
약간 내추럴 느낌도 나는.
네. 에스프레소는 어떠세요?
에스프레소 맛있었어요. 근데 저는 약간 이런 커피 제 개인적인 선호도가 아니에요. 맛있긴 한데 너무 펑키해요.
네. 이제 유럽을 이제 제가 좀 돌아다니면서 느낀 게 북유럽은 이제 필터를 많이 아무래도 마시잖아요. 이런 밀크 베이스를 이제 뭐 콜타토나 뭐 피콜로나 이런 거 시켜봤는데 런던이랑 차이가 좀 있었던 게 제가 개인적으로 느꼈을 때는 좀 더 라이트하다고 해야 되나? 좀 더 밀키했고요. 저한테는 조금 약했어요. 근데 이제 런던에서는 밀크 베이스 플랫 화이트나 콜타토 이런 거 시키면은 좀 더 볼드하고 인텐시티가 좀 있더라고요.
역시 우리 채널 구독자다. 아, 너무 만족스러웠다, 진짜.
지금 가는 카페는 로슬린 카페라고 런던에 제가 알기로는 한 3개 정도 있는 걸로 알고 다 회사원들일 거예요.
엄청 많아요. 분위기가 너무 좋다.
안에는 약간 이런 분위기.
SP9이라고. 아,
이게 이제 냉동 보관을 해가지고 여기서 고르시면은 커피를 내려주셔요. 네, 내려주는 것 같아요. 네, 이거 한번 보세요. 여기 뭐 커피 컬렉터도 있고.
타켓이네, 볼리비아시네.
이것도 네덜란드. 제가 아까 전에 그 3개 있었다고 말씀드렸잖아요.
아, 완전히 커피 되게 화려하네요, 이게. 저는 타켓이 한번 먹어볼래요. 커피 콜렉티브 플러스.
Can I try that the pour over?
For here to take away.
For here, please.
Pour it over.
And then can we also try the Bolivian coffee collector? Yeah.
Coffee collector, pour it over. Coffee collector, pour it over.
That's good enough.
Live inside. Really good.
Ethiopian.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, enjoy your coffee.
Thank you very much. 시는 분들이 저 시크릿 메뉴가 있는 걸 잘 몰라요. 저 시크릿 메뉴에 한국 브랜드가 있으면 좋겠네요. 그러니까요.
This one's the Fresco, which is the natural Colombian.
Okay.
And then this one is the Coffee Collective, which is the freezer one. So it has the recipe and some flavour notes if you're interested.
Okay.
And a little bit of the coffee ground as well if you want to smell. Because it smells super peachy, so it's like really nice to kind of give it a comparison. I definitely recommend waiting it to cool a little so you can really get the like fruity sweetness out of it.
Thank you. 되게 사소 같지만 되게 센스가 있는 것 같아요.
되게 펑키하네. 와.
여기서 일하는 애들 보면 에너지가 참 좋은 것 같아요. 그래서 더 한 번 더 방문을 하게 되는 것 같고, 항상 오면은 바쁜데 항상 뭐 질문하고 물어보면은 그냥 웃으면서 얘기해주고 더 얘기해주고 싶어가지고 설명을 해주더라고요. 옆에서 한 10분 동안 사람이 그렇게 많은데도 정말 찐이구나 여기는.
드디어 이제 제임스 호프만을 만나는 날입니다. 꽤 오래전에 월드 바리스타 챔피언십에서 우승한 또 세계 챔피언이기도 하고 지금 세계에서 가장 많은 사람들이 아는 바리스타라고 이야기를 할 수 있을 것 같아요. 여기 또 느낌이 좀 다르네요. 저희 제임스 호프만 공장이 런던 중심에서 조금 외곽에 있어가지고 게이샤갱의 런던 외노자 생활 근거지. 아, 여기 이제 상호파기 이런 데서 뭐 밥 먹고 뭐 쇼핑하고 했겠죠. 뭐 이런 데서 자기도 하고 또 얼마나 저 앞에서 또 상호파기 놀림 받았을지 참 생각하면은 또 가슴 한켠이 미어집니다. 드디어 여기를 오려고 영국까지. Hello, I have an appointment with James Hoffmann.
Yeah, I'll be with you. Sorry.
Wow. Hello.
Hi, I'm Melinda.
Ah, you're Melinda. My name is Ansar.
Lovely to meet you.
Hi. My name. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I put the mic for you?
Yeah.
What do you want to on it? Like okay. Let's go down and around. Okay, let's go. I'll sneak through. All right. So we've been in this building for about 5 years now, I think. So the way it works, coffee comes in here. We don't hold that much coffee here, and the small lots here. A lot of what we roast is our espresso blend, called Red Brick. That's like our biggest product by far, like a lot. And so that's like 60% of production, so there's a lot more of those coffees, and those tend to live over by the roasters just because they're going to go through them so fast. A little noisy, so I'm sorry.
Not that noisy.
So currently we have 2 roasting machines running. There's another one coming. We have a 75 kilo Probat, and there's a 15 kilo on the other side, and then we're installing a 90 kilo.
Which brand?
Probat, or Probat. We've always been Probat, I don't know. And then we have like that's the afterburner for this roaster. The reason it's so noisy is that we want to make sure no one has to pick up coffee at any point. And so everything is moved around by vacuum lifts, so into the roaster, out of the roaster, into the silo, and then out of the silo into production. So no one's carrying stuff around that's heavy anyway. I think that this is probably finished for today. Let's start early and finish early. We'll talk about it in there, but everything we do is roasted to order, and so everything will get shipped out today. And so we need to roast early, pack early. And so this will be tomorrow's roasts for this roaster. So a busy day tomorrow.
How old?
That one is from the mid-1960s, so pretty old.
Yeah.
I think from the 1980s. There's some sort of 1 kilo roasters for like either development work or teaching. Coffee gets lifted by the crane, put in the loader, fed to the roaster, roasted, into the silo, into the blending tray, and then into some packaging. If I can I just cut a quick path through? Sorry, thank you. Hey, how you doing? I might just kill the music for you, because otherwise you can't record me talking. Because you'll get a copyright.
This is my first time. No one knows about the copyright.
Oh, I think about this.
Yeah.
So I'm always aware filming. I don't film very much here because it's not a good, easy space to film. Yeah, all these shelves look pretty empty, and then they'll be full in about 2 hours. And then they'll be empty again 2 hours after that. All of this coffee is sold, and that's how we work. So everything's roast to order, and then stuff will go out. Books or things that people need to make coffee. So we, as part of being a wholesale coffee roaster, we look after people's equipment. We end up collecting old things, either they need to be serviced or fixed or whatever it is. So there's a workshop inside there where we would work on commercial machines that might need fixing. We'll just wander through there quickly. It's not very exciting, it's just a... Sorry, we're just passing through. How you doing? So yeah, here's a Seneso in a state of repair. Obviously in a steam boiler in at the moment. And so yeah, London's water is very bad. Yeah. And so we do a lot of descaling, a lot of service work on that. Yeah. It's not very exciting up here. I don't know if we can, there's people eating. Sort of, it's like the team kitchen. They can eat lunch and that kind of stuff, and there's food. And there's not a lot around here. The little trophy cabinet, it's fun. Yeah. I've got a few. Sorry. Right now, they're doing we use it for content, which is why there's sound panels here, but then we also use it for training and stuff too, depending. So they're doing sorry to interrupt. There's a little training class going on, it's okay, it's internal. So, it's okay, they all work here. So it's, we do SCA training, and this is a new module that we're going to start offering, and we do an internal version to make sure everything is good before we then start selling it to people. Then in here is, as you see, training room. They're still training. We'll let them finish up. We'll get some coffee in a second. And then, yeah, here is where we can meet, or I can stand and stare at the roasters, which is nice. See what's happening. I want to go and see Hide. Have like the little experience inside the, whatever that is. I kind of like, cocoon is the word I want to use.
Cocoon.
But like
You have been there?
No, before? I want to go. Anyway, we should get you some coffee.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course.
People get stressed when I come to their cafe, because whatever. And I feel like I have a very deep empathy, because for a long time after I won the world competition, people would come up to me and be like, world champion, make me espresso, and expect like the best espresso of their life. And this was a time before scales and before like we knew what we were doing. And so I had no idea if I was making good coffee most of the time. It made me very stressed for a long time to make coffee for other people, because the expectations are always so high. These days I feel a little more chill about that now. That's right, you can hear me say terrible things later. Is there a WDT tool in here? There's not. No, it's okay. I'll just give you a little swirl. No, that's all right. I think I like more now the WDT tool, the wire tool, for stirring the bloom, more than the swirl. But when I talk about making V60s on the internet, it's sometimes, I always have a nice grinder. Even if I have a cheaper grinder, it's maybe like an Ode or something good. And a lot of people who watch YouTube don't have something that nice. And so things like swirling the bloom definitely cause issues with their drawdown and slow things down. So I feel like I'm a big agitation person with V60. I know some people don't like agitation, I do. Coffee's a little fresh, sorry about this. The coffee's always too fresh. It's always too fresh. Especially because we roast everything to order. So yeah, I like a full V60. Keep it hot. It ties a little bit to roast level. I think with more developed roasts, I'd be comfortable with a lower bed and like running a little bit overall cooler. But I feel like with lighter roasts, you can't go too hot. It never tastes too hot. It's just a washed Ethiopian coffee. I don't know, it's the kind of coffee I would choose to drink most of the time. We don't do a lot with experimental processes. For us, we just haven't really been attracted to those kind of coffees as a team. You know, I think we understand people enjoy them and that they're kind of fun. And I certainly remember like when I got into wine 10 years ago, weird natural wines were very attractive, that were all very experimental and unusual. But after a while, my taste, and I think a lot of our taste here, trends back to really well made. No experiments. That's the kind of coffee that we want to sell. That's the kind of coffee we want to roast, and it's the kind of coffee we want to drink. That's fine. I'll just... If this is terrible, then that will be at least very funny. The roaster's fault. This is a bad batch. This is and a guy called Klaus who works in pastry, actually.
You have seen my YouTube channel before?
A while ago. I'm always interested by what people are doing on YouTube and especially in different places.
어떻게 커피를 시작하게 되셨는지, 왜 커피를 시작하게 되셨는지.
Yeah, it goes back to 20 years ago. So in 2003, I had tried working in lots of different jobs. I had no career or ambition, and I needed work, and I got a job demonstrating domestic gadget espresso machines in a department store in London. And I didn't like coffee. I did not drink coffee. I just needed a job. And it was very boring, and so I bought a book about coffee. It's a great book. It's called The Devil's Cup. It's like travel writing about the history of coffee. And I read this book. I loved that coffee was everywhere. It was this global thing, and every culture was different. So I was like, coffee is interesting. I'm going to learn to drink coffee, which I did, and I learned to enjoy coffee. I acquired the taste. And then by like 2004, I'm obsessed with coffee. I'm working in a department store still, but I'm obsessed with coffee at this point. And so quickly I moved up to doing like training inside that company because there was like Italian coffee was special, and then that was it. There was no specialty culture, not in London, not really in Europe. After 2 years of doing that, I worked then for a commercial espresso machine company from Italy called La Spaziale, and I worked as their kind of training manager. So I would travel all over the UK doing training classes and workshops. Yeah, it was like mostly presenting as well as hands-on training. So I got used to, like talking to people or to camera or to, you know what I mean, to standing up and presenting. My business partner, Annette, who was working at a green coffee importing company in the UK called Macanta, the kind of first specialty coffee importing company in the UK. And she ran their training as well. And we decided we wanted to stop telling people what to do, stop teaching, and go and do something. And so we were going to open a cafe and roast in the cafe. That year, which was 2007, we quit our jobs. Annette won the World Coffee Tasting Championships that year, actually. And then I won the World Barista Championships that year too, which was kind of funny. I'd gotten into competing in 2005, and I'd won the UK in 2006. And we got a little bit delayed to open Square In the end, we opened in 2008, but we couldn't open a cafe because there was a global financial crisis, and it seemed a very bad time to sign a lease for a cafe and commit to spending a lot of money on rent. And so we got like a little under a railway line, like a railway arch, and we just started roasting. And then we started selling, finally, coffee to people. And then Square Mile kind of grew from there. And then what else? I guess I wrote a book that did kind of well, the World Atlas of Coffee, which has been a bizarre success, a great success, but like I don't think anyone expected it to be as popular as it's been. And then 2016, I started doing YouTube videos. I worked with other like espresso machine companies. I've worked with like Victor Arduino. I designed a couple of espresso machines with them now, the Black Eagle and the Eagle One. I worked on the Mythos grinder. So I've had a kind of strange journey. And then now I make YouTube videos. In my 40s, I'm getting old, I'm grey, and I'm making YouTube videos, which feels strange. But it's amazing to have the opportunity to kind of share coffee, share the good things about coffee with as many people as possible. Everyone who works in specialty coffee is very excited about coffee, ultimately. Like, we love it. And it gets, you know what I mean? And it's nice to share that, you know what I mean? I didn't think the channel could go above 1 million, but somehow it continues to grow, you know, like it's the audience is kind of big, and that's very exciting for me. I don't know where that ends, it doesn't really matter, but for me, I've always enjoyed going right back to 2003, just sharing, teaching, and that's always been a theme throughout everything I've tried to do.
바리스타들이 아직도 대회에 나가서 그들의 기술을 잘 펼치는 게 좋을지 아니면 뭔가 다른 기회를 한번 찾아보는 게 좋을지.
Firstly, yes, I think you're right. I agree. There's less influence from those competitions. I think there's a lot of reasons for that. When I won 2007, I was the 10th World Barista Champion. And I realized very quickly that year there were 10 people in the world who were World Barista Champions. But every year I would be less rare and it would be less, special. If there's 100 World Barista Champions, so what? Do you know what I mean? If there's one World Barista Champion in the whole world, amazing. That's, you know what I mean? So for me, I think as soon as or the year after I won, I needed to, or I was thinking about I don't want that win to define my career. So I need to do other things to build a career away from that. And I can use that to open doors and people will talk to me and I can meet people and that gives me some opportunities, no doubt. But I didn't want to build the identity or my career around competitions. If that makes sense. I think one of the problems competition has is that there is a less feeling of possibility. When I won, nobody knew what the possibility of being a world champion was. Right? Like what could that mean? Could that be success? Could that be celebrity? Could that be, like escaping the coffee industry into something else? And I think the answer we now have is like, no, it doesn't offer unlimited possibility. I think about Denmark in the early years of Barista Championship. They had, I think, 3 or 4 winners of the first 7. And so by the time I was competing so 2008, in all of Denmark, 6 baristas entered the championships because there's no question unanswered. Like, what happens if you win? Well, we've won so many times, I don't really care. Like, it's not. I think the US was a good example where the US Barista Championship got bigger and bigger and bigger until there was a US champion and then it declined. Makes sense? And I feel like I suspect the similar thing probably happened in a place like Japan or Korea where growth, and then there's success and no one else gets to be the first Korean champion or first Japanese champion or all those things. And I think that loss of potential or possibility discourages people. It's a strange thing, but I think it's true. That doesn't mean that competitions have no value. I think they still have a lot of value. I think winning a competition can still create opportunities, but I think you need an objective, a purpose outside of competition that you can use that opportunity, to push forwards. And that might be that you want to start a coffee roasting company and actually that will help. You know what I mean? If you want to start a business and do that. Not everyone should start a business. It's hard and it's not for everyone. So if someone wants to be the face of coffee to consumers, that's fine. A competition will help you with that. Yeah, they're not what they once were in terms of influence. I think you're right. But I still think they're very useful as long as you've got a plan or a strategy beyond that. I think if all you want to do is win and you think everything will be great because you win, disappointment will come. You'll have a good year and then nothing. So I think you have to always be thinking beyond that if that's what's making you compete. But I think it's good to compete just to get better at coffee though. I think I'm very pro competition as a way to develop skills and test yourself and have a very intense experience. But from a career point of view, you have to think, I think, longer term.
Center Coffee.
Amazing. Finally.
Icebreaker, one of their
great.
blends,
Yeah.
famous blend.
제임스 호프만과의 만남을 끝으로 또 이번 길었던 또 유럽 여정을 마치려고 합니다. 각 어떤 나라마다의 커피를 즐기는 문화나 왜 이렇게 발전할 수밖에 없었는지 배경 그런 것도 좀 알게 되니까 더 이렇게 좀 커피에 대한 이해가 더 깊어지지 않았나 좀 생각이 들어요. 저는 또 다음에 다른 나라의 커피 문화를 소개하는 컨텐츠로 찾아뵙도록 하겠습니다. 빠이!